How much it costs when you don't get the job after your interview? What if I told you it's not the cost of the courses that you pay for? The most expensive consultant interview course is not the one that you joined, but it is the failure, it's the cost of not getting the job and delaying your career progression. Think about the salary gap between registrar and the consultant. When you think about the cost of the course you're thinking about, it's going to cost me at least £1,000 or even more. That's very expensive. I have a mortgage to pay, I have kids to grow, I have to pay school fees, and of course the other bits that comes with having a young family. The cost of the course that could vary anything between £500 to £2,000 seems like a huge investment. Only few of you would stop and actually calculate the cost of your failure, because real cost is not the course cost. The real cost is the month of delay, lost consultant salary, delayed career progression, stress of reapplying, doing the pre-interview visit, time spent on doing your due diligence again and again, focusing on pre-interview visit, and of course still left with that uncertainty. Would I get a job? And that's what we're going to talk today. I have been coaching for more than 20 years, and I have seen doctors making mistakes in interviews. And a lot of time, the mistakes could be how they deliver, how they structure. But the most common mistake is not joining the right course because of the cost. Excellent clinicians hesitate to invest in a good quality course because of the cost, but do not recognize the hidden cost of failure. Let's explore what it looks like. The first hidden cost is the delayed career progression. Imagine you are appointable, but you don't get appointed. You're almost there, but still are waiting for the offer. And you miss out on the offer because your answers lack the structure, or you didn't demonstrate to the panel that you have the leadership qualities, or you waffled a lot. You didn't show to the panel that you have made the transition from registrar to consultant, or you don't show the system level thinking. You don't show them, and they don't see you as a consultant. So the panel doesn't see what they want to see. They don't see you as a future colleague. So what happened now? You wait. You wait for the job to come, you put in the application, you do the search, you go through the normal, you do your due diligence, you do the search, you research about the trust, you find out who the colleagues are, you send the email again to meet for the pre-interview visit, you gather all the data that you need to know. And more importantly, that right job may not appear for months or a year. So you've lost a whole year of salary at a consultant level. So that 6 months or a year of delay leads to delayed career progression. Think about it. That's a delay before you even start building up your career as a consultant, before you have a final say in how the service should be shaped. That delay carries significant financial and professional costs. The second hidden cost is earnings. Many times you think about the cost of the course. You feel you're ready. You just need a mock interview or two. But that doesn't add up. Ask yourself this question. What's the financial difference between your current role and your future role? What's the salary gap? Now multiply that by 6, and that's the amount of money you lose by not investing in a quality course. Certainly, the cost of failure is in thousands of pounds and is glaringly obvious. And now that it's very obvious that a good quality course leading to success in the first interview would have led to that much money in your bank. Now the price of the course justifies itself. The job you wanted is still there. You just didn't get it. You are still waiting for it, or you missed the opportunity to get the job you wanted. So how much is it? How much money you could lose? Now, I haven't given you a number, but let's talk about numbers. The salary of a final registrar could be around 80 to 90,000 pounds. The starting salary of a consultant is around 120,000 pounds. That's a difference of 30,000 pounds per year, roughly about 2,000 pounds to 2,500 pounds per month. The salary difference between registrar and consultant salary. Now, if you delay your career progression from registrar to consultant, even from a locum consultant to a substantive consultant, every month you are not moving into substantive job, you are earning 2,500 pounds less. Multiply that by 6, that's a lot of money. That's almost 15,000 pounds that you could have earned. The third cost is the repeating the process. Most of the time, you don't realize or underestimate the time it requires to apply for the job and go through the process. You have to look at the application, submit it, go and pre-interview visit, meet people, invest in an effort. And that's a lot of effort you have to do. Something you could have avoided. And that is something you could have avoided by joining a right course. The fourth hidden cost is loss of confidence. With each failure, you start questioning your abilities. You start thinking, am I the right person? Am I doing the right thing? And this part, the loss of confidence, nobody talks about. The anxiety builds up with each time you fail. That can lead to a poor performance in the next interview or the one after. Because with each failure, you're thinking, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I don't have what it takes to be a consultant. Maybe panel doesn't think I'm consultant material. Reality is actually very different. You have gone through a difficult part, which is the training. You have achieved your CCT or CSER. So you have what it takes. You are just not presenting yourself in the right way. You don't have a structure. You waffle. Your examples are not strong. You don't communicate to the panel that you are ready. And this ability, or rather the lack of this ability to communicate to the panel, costs you your job. So why good doctors fail their interview? Over more than 2 decades of coaching, I have seen it regularly that candidates don't fail because of lack of knowledge or expertise. They fail because their answers don't align with trust priorities. They don't demonstrate their abilities to introduce or cause service improvement. They don't demonstrate financial awareness. And finally, they don't present them as future colleagues. The panel is not asking, are you clinically competent? They are actually asking, can they trust you as their future colleague, as a consultant in the department for next 5, 10, or 20 years? And that requires a completely different mindset. So what should you do as a smart candidate? Most successful candidates don't prepare hard. They prepare smartly. They identify their blind spots. They cut out the waffle. They get better structure. They use framework correctly. They know what framework to use in what situations and use it with a structure. Their examples are strong and they use them effectively. They don't have hundreds of examples. They have few examples, but they are very adaptable and they use them by cross-referencing rather than giving details of the exam. And that requires instant, actionable feedback. A well-prepared interview is much more cheaper than the cost of a failed interview without preparation. Next time you look at the cost of the preparation, ask yourself, don't ask how much the course costs or how much the delay is going to cost me. And that's the important difference. Think about the cost of a failed interview versus getting the job early. You don't want to stay in a program for life. You don't need it for life. Most of the time, you will get the job in 4 to 6 weeks with the right preparation. You don't have to keep joining a cohort again and again and again. Best preparation course will get you the job in 4 to 6 weeks because the course offers intense one-to-one coaching. It's not about the group learning. You can learn in a group if you want. You can practice with peers. But think about it. The peers are learning themselves. They may have the blind spot. They may not know the right feedback. They may not know the right answer. To them, if you are able to speak in a flawless manner without oomph and errors, they would feel that you have given the right answer. Experienced coach would be able to identify those blind spots, would be able to cut out the waffle, would be able to guide you in the right direction. It's of course going to be more expensive than a run-of-the-mill course where you are put in a cohort or an academy and you keep learning by practicing with peers, occasional being put on the spot in a group coaching. So don't miss the opportunity. That's the price you didn't even anticipate. If you're preparing for a consultant interview, why don't you book a free consultation using the link given below? And we can talk about your strategy to get you the job in your first upcoming interview. My name is Ranjita Kaur. I'm consultant, endocrinologist, author, educator, and founder of Career for Doctors. I have been coaching for more than 20 years, and I have successfully helped more than 4,000 doctors. I'm waiting for you to join my plan so that you get your dream job quickly. With my coaching, you don't remain appointable, you actually get appointed.